So my question is, to what extent does the definition of adulthood affect society and its individuals? So I looked up the definition, and there were two that came up the most often. I can really pick, so I put both. A fully grown life form, a fully mature person, animal, plant, or other form of life. And then somebody legally adult, somebody who has reached the age of legal majority, generally 18 years of age in the United States. And those two kind of contradict themselves because a lot of times kids don't mature until their mid-20s. So the fact that they would also be qualified as an adult at 18, even though they're not at the maturity level to be called that, is kind of bugging me. Okay, so we can vote at 18 and drink at 21, but like I said, a lot of psychology studies have found out that we actually do not reach full brain maturity and all the levels of development until our mid to late 20s. And so, do these really mean anything, or are they just convenient little boxes that society can put us in order to make it easier on themselves? So, I have this video. Oh, that didn't work. Richie, can you get it, please?
Don't worry, it's on her fault, you're fine.
So, how's everyone doing today?
Very well, thank you.
You look nice.
Good morning, John, and thank you for your lovely video.
You started at 45.
Questions about sex and relationships.
It's Chadwick's brother. Yes. I know he's a brother.
He's hilarious.
What's his name?
Hank.
I don't know.
Did you hear the Time magazine named The Fault in Our Stars the #1 book of the year? I actually disagree with it. I mean, I thought The Fault in the Stars was fine. I'm sorry, Sam. I don't want to break your little heart.
I don't read enough books.
It's a nice place to start.
Everybody make that face. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I love how only 2 people did it.
I did it. All right.
What do I do with Peter Pan syndrome? Look, growing up is what you want it to be. We're grown-ups now, and it's our turn to decide what that means. Being silly is still allowed. That's not excluded by adulthood. What's excluded by adulthood is thoughtlessness. So be thoughtful and silly. Why are job applications so awful? I don't know, but they are. Maybe you should go into human resources and revolutionize how we hire people in this country, because it's pathetic and bad. How do you deal with the loss of free time? Look, all time is free, and as you progress through life, you have had things to do, and you will still have things to do, but there will still be lots of time for you to do other stuff. Just don't spend it on what you need. How do you live an active social life on a budget? Have parties at your house or other people's houses. Fun, silly parties. You can watch Harry Potter, or write up fake wills and tell everybody who's going to get your stuff. And never, ever, ever buy alcohol at bars. Can't imagine a faster way of spending money with less benefit. How do you get past your insecurity? If you fail, I will like you more. So fail. Start failing now. I order you. As an adult, is it still okay to watch Disney movies and cry? How do you speed up as you get older? Yes. And I imagine you've already noticed this happening, and I don't know why it happens, and I'm not a big fan of it. So would you go back to being younger if you could? Ooh, no, absolutely not. I like having a much deeper and more thoughtful understanding of the world, and I didn't back then. I remember, like, junior year in high school, people were like, this is the best time of your life, and I was like, oh, it better not be. Pay your bills. If you get married, is it okay to still hang out with friends of the opposite sex? Yeah. But if you're like hanging out with them by yourself and you like have this mutual urge to lick each other's mouths, then you should stop hanging out with that person. Because first, you keep the friends that you've always had. But you make friends the same way as you always have. Mutual acquaintances, common shared interests, figuring out that they don't annoy you as much as other people, and then make them dinner or go bowling or do bad karaoke together. That stuff. But how do you know when you're an adult? You don't. I'm sorry. We pretend like we live in a world of harsh edges, but there are no harsh edges. There are no borders between these things. Those hard lines are all imaginary, and they're just created for convenience. Whether it's loving or growing up or raising a child or having a job. These aren't destinations. They're not achievements to unlock. Life isn't a video game. It's a journey. Everything is a journey, and we get to travel it together. And I hope that you enjoy it. And John, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Can you escape it? Okay, so back to the last slide, sorry. Oh, just kidding. Okay. Okay, so what I took from that is that there is no, well, obviously, like I said, there is no set lines for us being adults. So why does society continually put us in these set boxes and expect everyone to act or mature or even grow up in the same way? And I found some psychological studies recently that have been doing some research on brains and how they mature. And I found that the brain of an 18-year-old college freshman is still far from resembling the brain of someone in their mid-20s. So that a graduate student is involved in new research. When do we reach adulthood? It might be much later than we traditionally think. And if we traditionally think that it's in a younger age, then we should find a way to change it so that it applies to more people and we can make better decisions as a whole. Okay, so also looking at psychology, I looked at Piaget's theory of development, cognitive development, and there are states that as children develop biologically, they also meet specific cognitive goals, and children's minds grow gradually and therefore are not capable of making the same decisions or reasoning like that of an adult. And there are four main stages: the sensory neural, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. And with the formal operational, he thinks that once we reach this level, we can make more advanced decisions, we can think things through better, we've reached the age where thoughts or our thought process is more mature and more complex, and we can comprehend better things or things better. And that's at 11 years and up. So while we are actually like growing up and everything at that age, there's been a lot of controversy because at 11 years old, there are very few people who are able to make decisions like know who to vote for. Even at 18, people are still like, I don't know, because, well, they're not very informed, but they don't have the thought process to keep up with some of the stuff that is talked about in the presidential debates, for example. Okay, and then I looked at other cultures and how is adulthood perceived based on different cultures. And in many countries, qualified adulthood is 18 and older, because they can vote, they can marry, they can drink, they can do all that stuff. Well, it's different here for some of our ages. Like in European countries, 18 is like you're an adult once you hit that age. But there are no places in like Yemen and Liberia, no laws that are in place. So basically, whenever you mature and feel like you yourself or your family, you reach that age, then you can marry or do all that fun stuff. And then there are also labor laws that are designed specifically for children as young as the age of 12 in Syria, and Bangladesh, and a few others, just because they want children to be able to work at that age, but they qualify that as an adult age, mainly because, well, they want the money and the productivity and all the capital that brings in with it. But they qualify adults as 12 in order for them to work. And that's it. It's open to discussion if anyone has anything to say.
Okay, I think I really agree with what Hank was saying, how there's like no definite line that determines whether or not you're an adult. 'Cause like I am about a month away from being legally an adult, and I still feel like a kid at heart. As in like my theme song, I'm pretty sure is "Grow Up" by Simple Plan, which is like I don't want to grow up, I just want to like chill out and have fun and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna play that song, but it has some bad words in it.
Okay, but yeah, so it's just like I feel I'm not ready. I am ready, but I'm not ready, and I feel like the legal age is nothing but something for technicality.
Yeah. I'm legally an adult, but if you guys know me, there's no way I am an adult. There's just
Exactly.
I run down the hall with my Captain America cup shouting Captain America. I'm not an adult. I'm not at that maturity level. I'll admit that I'm not. But legally, I am able to make adult decisions, which I find ludicrous. Really.
All right. I do think that like maturity level also kind of is involved in other things other than running down the hall screaming "Go Captain America," because like what he was saying in the video, he was saying still be like silly and happy and goofy. Where I think of maturity, I think of more rational decisions based on like your own thoughts. Like for example, voting. Like if you can come to a rational decision of how you see a candidate or one way or another, I think that's a very high maturity level. Whereas, I mean, I'm very immature at heart. Like I'm probably never going to grow up inside, but outside, like I can be mature and I can be a responsible teenager because I'm still technically a kid. But I mean, I have different like maturity kind of applications of my life, and there's no one set way to call someone mature.
or